So I just wanted to hop on the mic and talk about something interesting I've been thinking about. And that's how I'd create the perfect Legend of Zelda game if I were Eiji Aonuma. Now, there's a few things I want to go over. I want to first start off by saying this isn't going to be like some well thought out video essay. This is just me going off the top and letting my thoughts out there. I've only really gotten about an hour to record and edit these videos, so it is what it is. But regardless, it's still something I wanted to make. So let's get into it. I won't waste any of your time. So if I were making the perfect Legend of Zelda game, here's exactly what I would do. The first thing I would do is the map, right? So what I do for the map is I would essentially either half or maybe even like take the size of the Breath of the Wild map down to like a quarter of what it is. However, that map would be a lot more dense and concise and is filled out with deep, meaningful content as possible, right? I feel like there's just no need for a big bloated map with, lackluster rewards, not a lot of side quests, and just basically empty air to go and explore. You could definitely shrink the map size down quite a bit and still get a pretty similar experience as far as the freedom and exploration goes. What I do for the dungeons now, let's talk about that, right? So we've got this map that's scaled down significantly from the Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom size. What I do is I would put a dungeon in every corner of the map, really, and I'd want to shoot for 6 to 11 mainline dungeons. With Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, there's some regions that are completely underutilized, and I'm mostly talking about Hebra and the Gerudo Highlands. I think they had a missed opportunity with those regions. They could have easily set a storyline there that was meaningful or put a dungeon there. Every section and every biome of the map of Hyrule or wherever it would take place would contain at least some kind of dungeon, some kind of race, and it would be meaningful and impactful. Next thing I do, and this is a big one, is make it so you can explore underwater. Again, another big missed opportunity with Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. How cool would it be if you could explore Lake Hylia and the nearby oceans and be able to swim underwater, and maybe there's a dungeon down there or something along those lines like there were in previous Zelda games. But there's just so much opportunity for exploring beneath the surface. Like you could do in Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, and Twilight Princess. I think that'd be pretty neat. And it's something I'm really disappointed they didn't include in the latest 2 Zelda games. The next thing is the enemy variety. The enemy variety in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. Tears of the Kingdom specifically, it's okay, but I feel like they could have added quite a bit more. I would double or triple the enemy variety in those games. I'd make it similar to Ocarina of Time for one, but more so than that. I think enemy variety goes a long ways to, at least to making the game not feel repetitive. So that's one thing that would definitely need to happen if we're making the perfect Zelda game, right? We're going to definitely need to increase the number of foes you encounter. So you're not just encountering the same, bokoblins and moblins and Lizalfos over and over and over again until you beat the game. That's pretty repetitive in my opinion. Next thing I'd want to incorporate if I was making the perfect Legend of Zelda game is to incorporate optional dungeons with actual meaningful rewards. I'm not talking about just like an extra little sword or shield here or there that breaks right away. I'm talking about substantial rewards such as new outfits, new meaningful weapons, and maybe even new things to help you with your traversal of the environment, right? Stuff like that. I'm not talking about like old DLC items from old games or palette swaps, right? Each one of these optional dungeons would definitely feel handcrafted. It wouldn't feel something that's just kind of slapped together. I think that'd be interesting. Another thing I'd like to see if I could make my dream Zelda game is a post game, right? Like I'm talking about the game continues after you slay the main foe, whether it's Ganondorf, Ganon, or whoever else it may be, right? Like you can continue on in that same world after you've beaten the game, and all the NPC interactions are different and things have changed. I think that's one big missed opportunity. I mean, Ocarina of Time came out so long ago, but how cool would it be to go back to that world, or even Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom? Right, with Breath of the Wild, it pretty much ends once you beat Calamity Ganon. You can't really, the story doesn't progress past that. Like you can't return to that after you've beaten him, right? So it'd be pretty cool to have a post game that takes place after you've slain the main foe, right? Maybe there's another source of villainy or something else. I don't know. But I think that'd be really cool if they did that. I don't think we've really experienced that in any Zelda game. I think it kind of just wraps up as soon as you've beat the final boss in just about every game. I can't really think of one example where that's not the case. I'm sure there maybe is one, but I mean, if there is, let me know in the comments. But yeah, that's it. So a post game after you've beaten the main boss. The next thing is the music. Of course, I'd want to bring back instruments as a pivotal focus in the game, like they were with Ocarina of Time and Skyward Sword. But I'd also want a completely new soundtrack with minimal use of previous tracks, right? I would want to hire the best musician you could possibly hire and invest in to create absolute bangers for this game. One example I want to use is Ocarina of Time. I think they kind of minimize the use of past tracks, and they came out with a soundtrack that was absolutely iconic, and that's pretty much used in most Zelda games that go forward past Ocarina of Time. So I think investing in a proper orchestra, a proper musician, and the talent acquisition for that would go a long ways in creating the best Zelda game of all time. Another thing I would do if I had it my way and I could make any Zelda game that I wanted to, right? I would place emphasis on a more darker, mature story. Similar to what was in Majora's Mask. It's probably not the darkest Zelda game. That probably goes to Ocarina just based on the Shadow Temple alone. But I love how that story delves into the aspects of human psychology, specifically the 5 stages of grief. But with my new Zelda game, I would weave in real-world psychology into the game and have that tie along with core elements, dungeons, and boss design. I think that'd be pretty neat. Something we haven't really seen a lot of since Majora's Mask. A game that really ties in real-world psychological concepts and psychological horror into the game. So that's one other idea I had. Another thing I'd like to see in my perfect Legend of Zelda game is a bigger emphasis on weather and seasons. And we haven't really seen seasons return since, of course, the title Oracle of Seasons. So I think that would be pretty cool. And instead of just having a day and night cycle, you have a seasonal cycle, right? Where it moves from summer to fall to winter to spring, all in real time. Maybe not as long as it takes in the actual real world, right? Say after the passage of like 14 days, the season changes or something like that. Or after a set period of time, it moves to the next season. And you can do different things within the game and the environment based on what season it is. The different puzzles are solvable during summer. Different puzzles are solving during winter when there's snow on the ground and so forth. I think that'd be really cool. That's one thing I really enjoyed about the Oracle of Seasons. And it's something you don't really see in a lot of video games outside of like cozy games like Animal Crossing and Stardew Valley. But it's something they could definitely incorporate into a full-on action-adventure game like The Legend of Zelda. That would be pretty neat if they brought something like that into the fold. The game could even really revolve around seasons as the main mechanic if you really thought about it. So definitely I'd like to see seasons in my perfect dream Legend of Zelda game. But yeah, that's really it, guys. So to recap, you would shrink the size of the map, nothing quite the scale of Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom. You would have 6 to 11 full-length dungeons that feel intentional, right? So you'd have one of these dungeons in each corner of the map. None of the map would be underutilized, right? Each biome would have its own unique themed dungeon. That would be awesome. Right, the next thing is you'd have a nice post game, right, that continues after you beat the big bad of the game. And you can go back and kind of explore the world and build upon what you've done and visit NPCs post that final battle. And the next thing is to incorporate some kind of seasonal system, right? So after 14 days or 7 days or however long, probably like 14 days passes in the game, it transitions from summer, spring, winter, fall. That would be awesome if they did something like that. I highly doubt they ever will, but I'm just throwing ideas out there. Yeah, anyways, guys, so basically what I want is, maybe the same biomes as Breath of the Wild, but scaled down, the map scaled down significantly, more intentional dungeons, different races, maybe include a few new races, dungeons at every corner of the map, themed dungeons, fully playable, bring back item-based progression, and so forth. Anyways, guys, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and consider subscribing. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subs by the end of the summer, and I'm really hoping to get there, but I need each and every one of you guys' support. I appreciate all of you. We've brought on so many new subs, but there's a lot more to go. I really enjoy all the back and forth I have with you guys in the comment section. But anyways, I'm curious to know what your dream Zelda game would be. If you were Eiji Aonuma and you could make any Zelda game you wanted, what would you include in that game? Right? Like, what would you do to make it the perfect Zelda game and the best Zelda game of all time? Let me know. I'm really curious to hear your thoughts. Anyways, guys, this has been Matt from Top Tier coming at you with another Zelda video. Until next time, I'm out. Bye.